Hello and welcome back to E39 Source. Ryan Schultz here with the 2000 E39 M5. And finally a DIY. I haven't done much to this car. I've been happy about that, but it is time to get back to work. So I'm driving about a week ago. I pull into the garage. I'm just about to kill the engine and the dashboard lights up with surprise drift mode, aka the trifecta. It's a common E39 problem for some reason, mostly on the 540, but none of them are immune from it. It is a combination of the brake, ABS, and DSC lights that illuminate on the dash. It's not here right now. It seems to be intermittent. I don't have any of the lights. They were the ones that just went off, all those yellow ones. The middle one that I just turned on there being the DSC. So that's what's known as the trifecta. It's some sort of an issue with the ABS system, wheel speed sensors, the ABS module, whatever. So if you have any way to pull codes from the ABS module, which is that right there with all of the brake lines coming out of it, that is the best way to start. Really, it's kind of the only way to start. Otherwise, you're just going to go in and start replacing things that may not need to be replaced. Many things can cause those to come on. Generally, it's the wheel speed sensors, also known as a pulse generator. There's one at each wheel. It does what you would guess it would. It senses the speed of that wheel. It's simply a sensor that recognizes pulses as the bearing and hub and wheel rotate. It creates waveforms that are interpreted into speed. That allows the system to know when one wheel or multiple wheels are slipping or sliding and it needs to pulse certain brakes, all part of the DSC dynamic stability control system. So I plugged in software I have called INPA. It's BMW diagnostic software. We don't offer it. We don't support it here at E39 Source, but if you have access to it and you know how to use it and you're comfortable using it and taking full responsibility for doing whatever you do to your car with it, that's fantastic. It allows me to go into the ABS module, read the codes, and determine what's wrong. So I did that, and I found an open circuit on my front left wheel speed sensor. That's why the car's backed in here at an awkward angle. I'm going to be removing this wheel today and replacing that wheel speed sensor, aka pulse generator. It's possible that that doesn't fix the problem. The sensor could be fine, and it could be an issue with the module itself, at which point it would be time to rebuild, replace, or repair the ABS module. I'm really hoping that isn't my issue, but it could be. This car is a 2000, February 2000, with 196,000 and change miles, and that's, as far as I know, the original module that's never been serviced. I have replaced the DSC pre-charge pump. I've never done any of the vehicle speed sensors. They're all original at 196,000 miles or so. And this front wheel carrier was actually replaced this spring when I had that steering issue. The carrier had a crack in it. I got a used one online, had that installed, so the sensor would have come out at that point. It could have just gotten dirty, not been installed right. I don't know. I didn't do the labor on that job. So we're about to pull this wheel, get in there, take it out, replace the sensor, see if that fixes things. It came on for 3 days in a row, and now it hasn't in over a week. I already have the sensor, so we're just going to be proactive with it. I bought the part from VDO. VDO/Siemens seems to be the original equipment part. This isn't your genuine BMW. It's the same exact thing, however, minus the logo. So this one's a lot cheaper. I think this one was about $69. It was like $80 shipped with tax. And I did buy the bolts that hold it in. I just bought 4. I like to keep, you guys know me, I like to keep fastening hardware on hand just in case something gets lost or broken. Here's the sensor itself. This plugs in right next to where the brake pad wear sensor does. And this here is what goes into the hub and senses the wheel speed. It's just wrapped in this very hard, shiny plastic sheath. It's very possible that that can wear down, break open over time, and then the wires are exposed to the elements, which would kill the sensor. The part number for the actual sensor is going to be right there, and I'll put that in the description below, 34526756375. The -177 or the /177, I'm not sure what that is. But there's the markings on the box, again from FCP, the VDO brand. And then the bolt that holds it in, I always like to replace this stuff, is 071299013130. Without further ado, let's pull that wheel and see what we see. Before jacking up the car all the way, get a 17mm socket, loosen all of your lugs about 1 turn. Then we're going to go ahead and jack up the car, take them out, and remove the wheel. With the wheel off, it's a fantastic time to inspect any of your braking system, brake lines, control arms. Look at everything, see if anything's worn and is going to need attention. I've just used the front jacking point with an ECS jack pad adapter, and do please take proper precautions by bracing the subframe should that jack fail with a jack stand. Anyhow, if I can contort myself to get down here with the camera and attempt to get in here, we're going to see the speed sensor closer to the rear. It's this wire right here, and it just goes into the wheel hub behind the strut, right where my finger is. It plugs in there, and I don't know that there's any way I'm going to be able to fit a camera in here any better. But that's it. Follow that wire and you'll find it, and then it's just going to be a Hex Bolt that holds it in. I'll let you know what size in a moment. So a Torx 30 on a 3/8 drive 4 or 6 inch extension is the tool you're going to want. Then obviously a 3/8 drive ratchet. It's actually easier to access like this instead of trying to crawl awkwardly under the car. I don't think I'll be able to film it back in here very well, but my old one was actually held in by 2 bolts. The new one is only going to go in by 1. But I just loosened both bolts and lost one, and it comes out like that. And then if you take another look back here, and again I apologize for the poor camera work, I don't have anything that could even fit back here. The wire's just held in with a couple clips, and then it's right next to your brake pad wear sensor here in this clip. And then it goes into this black box back here on the chassis. And the black box, you don't need any tools to open it, it's just got some plastic little arms on it that you need to release, and then it pivots open, and you'll find that it's the blue connector. You just pull that out of the box, and then it's pretty intuitive. There's some clips on the far end that you squeeze together while pulling. You don't want to damage the harness on the car, and the old sensor comes out just like that. Looks pretty dirty. I'll look around and see if there's any sort of a build date or any indication of how old this thing is, but I doubt it. You want to make sure that you don't unseat any of these other ones. There's a white one. The white one actually might go to your steering servo. See, yeah, it does. It goes in there. That's your steering servotronic, the white one, so don't mess with that. And then the black one's your pad wear sensor, since we're working on the front left. The front left has a pad wear sensor, and I think the rear right. What I did not mention do not have pad wear sensors, so that black one that lives in the door is only going to be found in those areas. So now it's just as easy as doing what we did to take it out in the reverse order to install the new sensor. So since this hub was replaced not too long ago, I think my sensor came out pretty easily. If yours is seized in there, get some pliers on it, rock it back and forth. If you're not worried about saving it, just kind of be a little rough with it. Obviously don't damage your hub, and it'll come out eventually. On the new sensor, since there was only one hole, I got my drill out and I drilled another hole. Why not? If I don't do that, then the threads inside the hole I'm not using will corrode, so I just drilled a hole in that. Now it's not strengthened or reinforced by that metal cylinder around the exterior there, but I'm not going to tighten that one down as much. It just doesn't need to be. So I did use some PB blaster in there. I just gave it a quick squirt and then worked the wheel around a couple times just to clean off any rust or corrosion that may have built up inside the hub. So now that that's dried out, I'm going to go ahead and just insert the new sensor like the old one was, tighten it down, remembering either the top or the bottom I can be a little tighter with since it has that metal cylinder. Then we're just going to brout the plug back in the clip. There's the this part right here, right where my finger is, has a groove in it that fits in this little adapter, and then it's going to plug into its plug. Plug snaps back in the box snaps shut. Job done. So I went ahead and finished up, put the wheel back on, and finished this job, so I thought. Got in the car, started things up, everything was fine. Took a nice little 8 or 10 mile drive, no codes returned, no more trifecta on the dash. And then the next day I took this car on about a 30 or 40 mile drive, and about 25 miles into it, I go to tap the brakes and I feel the ABS come on, and then the whole dashboard lights up once again with the trifecta. So when I got home, I plugged the computer back in. It's the same code, front left open circuit. It only seems to show itself once everything's very warm. Driven 25, 30, 35 miles, warm day outside, 70 degrees plus, and then it comes back. So I'm about to head to San Diego for an unknown amount of time, a week or 2 or 3. So I'm just gonna pull the module out from under the hood. I'm gonna send that to Module Master in Idaho. We're gonna rebuild that, seeing that it's original. When I return from California, I'll install it back in the car and do the same test. I'll go out and drive 50 miles on a warm day and see if anything returns. If it does, the only things remaining are wiring issues or the reluctor ring, the part of the hub in there that rotates and creates the pulses for the sensor to sense. So hopefully it's not that. That would indicate that I need to replace this bearing up here. I'm thinking it's just a module. It's a completely original ABS module, 17 years and 196,500 miles later. So we're gonna start with that. But anyways, that's the DIY on the sensor. Really, it's a pretty easy job to do, and it's more than likely your culprit, but it's possible that it's not. So I wish you guys better luck than I had. I'll keep you updated with the ABS module. Thanks for watching. We'll talk in a future video. Bye guys.